enough, brilliant. Welcome to the penultimate week of racing here on iRacing of Season 3 in 2026. We're here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, or Mosport for short, for round 11 of the Radical Esports Cup here this season. A season that has rather been dominated by Brandon Hawkin. His run of podium continues to 10 weeks now, every single round of this championship. In the broadcasted split 2100 GMT, he has been, if not on the top step, then on the podium in some other form. 7 race victories, 10 podiums through these 10 rounds so far. The final 2 will be at Mosport and Interlagos, the place for any championship finale. I think we can all agree. That's coming up next week. Same time, same place here, of course, on Motorsport TV and the iRacing YouTube channel as well. And when we look at the standings, the dominance of Brandon Hawkin will be borne out. Over exactly 400 points he has this week in front of James Barry. This is even while drop weeks are being applied going along. Peter Ivany is 402 behind, so a good battle for second, with Andre Castro very much on his own in 4th place. Then Kjetil Larsen, who's 5th in front of Hobart Gullickson, Max Davies and Jake Williams, and then a bit of a drop off back to Heinz Braun and Bruno Vitorino, rounding out the top 10 in the iRacing official standings at this late stage in the season. As I mentioned, in those standings, the drop weeks are still being applied at this stage. There's a couple of them now, so they will continue to change, but one thing will not change, and that is Brandon Hawkin at the front of the field. Myself in O'Leary alongside J.R. Gregory in commentary tonight in the penultimate round of the championship. To be alongside you once again, JR. Again, a season that Brandon Hawkin has absolutely dominated, and in recent weeks we've come into each week figuring out, is it going to be the same this week? Is there going to be something different about this racetrack that pushes him off the top step? Now, yes is the answer. In the last couple of weeks, Zolder and Phillip Island, his win streak came to an end. However, still one of the strongest drivers, if not the strongest driver in this field, and he's going to have some big challenge today at Mosport, no doubt, but he's going to also have a very good chance to go on and win again in this series.
Yeah, Hawkin really has shown up to take ownership of the Radical Esports Cup this season, and it really has been impressive. There are some outstanding drivers in this field and on that list. A couple of past champions, James Berry, of course, Castro and Gullickson, all prior champions of this series, but nobody really seems to have much for Hawkin. He has the pace. He makes good decisions. He's able to keep it frosty. And I'll tell you, he is looking to me like he's going to run away with this one. If we take a look at qualifying, you see it's Hawkin from Dunkovic from Williams right now, your provisional podium, and a pretty substantial gap. 3/10 is a chunk of time out here at Mosport, and not the kind of intervals that we're used to seeing at the top of the rankings here in the Radical Esports Cup, and that just goes to show you how dominant Hawkin has been.
Yeah, it's been pretty remarkable this season, notable in so many ways, and he's got a big field of drivers to compete with tonight, by the way. 23 drivers have made it into this server for this round of the championship. It's always a little bit of a lottery, isn't it, how many we're going to get each week, because of the way that the splits work in iRacing. You put with the top drivers, or we see the top drivers put against one another, I should say, really, and we always see some of the same names, but as far as the others go, we're never entirely sure. And of course, every week at 2100 GMT, you can try and get on the broadcast yourself by entering the Radical Esports Cup race. You might need a fairly decent iRating, depending on what the week is, but nevertheless, you can give it a go, and you might be on the broadcast on a Friday night here at the top split. Tobias Matheson goes over the line there and completes the session just a couple of minutes early here from Mosport tonight. So let's go through the starting grid, and no surprise that Brandon Hawkin is on the pole, the only driver below a 1:12 in this session. Jack Dunkovic with a good qualifying to get up to second, in front of the return of Jake Williams. Hasn't been in the top 10 since Silverstone. Hobart Gullickson alongside Max Davies and Peter Ivany then on row 3. 7th place has gone to Kjetil Larsen, with James Barry down in 8th place. Then it's Denis Kyrkopoulos and then Wright Cormier, who will be very pleased with the top 10 qualifying. Heinz Braun and Rudolf Nagel just miss out on the top 10 in qualifying on row 6, with Ola Henrik Gullickson and Robert Plumley then on row 7. Tobias Matheson, we just saw at the end there, gets up to 15th in front of Andreas Inopi, and David Walters, Ryan Stringer round off row 9. CW Perez in 19th in front of Javier Zapata And outside the top 20, Mauricio Acevedo, Taylor Clark, and Antoine JC Ledbetter in the back end of the field. 23 drivers, and it's not a very big circuit round here, so it is going to be a very, very busy race tonight.
It is indeed, and I'll tell you what, I really look forward to seeing these cars at Motorsport. It is a great car and track combination, and this race is going to be won or lost 8, 9, and 10. So watch for contested entries off of that Andretti back straightaway into turn 8. Things can get very, very hairy on that entry, and we're going to see it lap after lap here tonight. And as I said, race could easily be won and lost in that last combination of corners.
Very tight pit straight here, as you can see. Everybody getting onto the grid now. In fact, Ledbetter is at the back of the field, is not on the grid just yet, but is actually having to grid up round the final corner. Such is the length of this front straight, or indeed shortness of it. 21 laps tonight. It's not a very long racetrack, so you can have a lot of laps. Of course, totaling the normal 25 to 30 minute race that we see on a Friday. Here we go. The lights will come on and we'll be ready to go racing. It is going to be a pit lane start from Ledbetter by the looks of things, who goes into the pit lane while the others stay on the racetrack and get ready to go. And going nowhere in the midfield there. One of the drivers just in front of Rudolf Nagel, who gets a black flag next to his name. And Javier Zapata's also got a black flag next to his. There's been a couple of jump starts by the looks of things as they come through turn 2 for the first time. Gullickson on the inside of Ivany single fires things out for 4th position as they come down the hill here. All nicely done from all of these drivers coming in towards turn 3. They follow on all as one. They're mostly clean start apart from a couple of jump starts back in the pack.
Yeah, very, very tough stuff here, and it just goes to show you when the adrenaline gets pumping. I mean, it seems like that should never happen. There's a green light right on the screen in front of you. Don't drop it into gear till you see that light up, but a couple false starts there, and Nagel picking up one of those, and he is no slouch at all. So the nerves are nerves are going here in Canada tonight as the season winds down. Yeah,
indeed. Penultimate round of the championship. Jake Williams looking to get past Dunkovic straight away here. Round the outside through turn 8. An impressive move. He's up to second. And Gullickson tries to follow through. That was very, very close. And he touches Dunkovic there coming out of the final turn. Jarrett Dunkovic under real pressure here. It's a good qualifying lap from him, but the race pace is always something entirely different. And he just seems to be struggling in the early goings here. There goes Gullickson again, putting the pressure on the American early on.
Yeah, and if you're a GT3 driver, you know the feeling of coming over that left-hander, over the rise. You always tighten up and hold your breath a little bit. Not so in these cars. Massive amounts of mechanical grip and downforce. That is flat out through here. Just a slight lift for that right-hander, flat out again. And here's the challenging part. No anti-lock brakes on these cars. Got to get them woed up in the slowest corner. Whoop! You see Gullickson with a little twitch there. That was what my next comment. You got to be very careful putting down the power, and that could cost Gullickson as he's got Max Davies, Ivany sniffing around on the inside.
Yeah, even he goes through, and Max Davies is going to try and help him here. He's going to push him down the Mario Andretti straight away towards turn 8. Inside line for Ivany. He will just have to, for Davies, he'll just have to back out of that one slightly. On board with James Barry, who watches on. Gullickson down the inside at least, retains 5th, and Barry tries to take advantage. He just backs out of it in the end, and smartly so as well. Davies gets the run himself now and gets blocked by Gullickson again on the front straight in towards turn number 1. This never-ending fight here is only extending the gap to those further out front, but they feel it's necessary to fight this hard for track position in the early goings of this race.
Yeah, Gullickson under constant pressure right here. You see Barry taking another little peek inside of Max Davies, but Gullickson has lost a position, Davies as well, and Ivany has moved up too. So we have seen some stagnant top 6 or 7 the last couple races, and they are mixing it up here today.
Through Moss Corner. This is where things started to just go a little bit wrong for Herbert Gullickson. Just started to glide out of there and exposed him to the trouble he was in by the end of the lap. This time Max Davies in trouble though, because James Barry has got the run. It's a big train here, which means there's a lot of guys with slipstream, and that does hurt overtaking somewhat. Nevertheless, Barry's able to get to the outside line. He'll stay there for turn 9, and with that inside line, take the position. Davies just tucks right back underneath him again. Seemed to be giving Barry a little bit of room there and just letting him go for now.
Yeah, great move by James here, and that is how you get the merit badge here at Motorsport, is dealing with that inside defense coming off the back straight into turn 8. It's very easy to cover the inside, so you've got to learn to make that outside move, brave on the brakes, and beat your competitor to the apex of turn 9. That's what Barry did right there as he works his way up, and then it's going to be a +2 for James Barry, moving up from 8 to 6.
Nice start for him. Nice steady start of a couple of places gained already. It's down the hill for White Cormier into the final, final turn. not entirely accurate at all. Turn 5 indeed. A slow corner, certainly the slowest on this racetrack. As here comes Peter Evany flying past Jake Williams. That must have been a poor run for Williams. Oh, I can't help but notice it in the inner iRacing team colours tonight. Evany going straight past him though. And again, you're about to mention it, as Gullickson got it wrong for the first time. It's such a key point in this circuit, though. It's the slowest corner around here. It's the only place where you could say that really just stores the momentum, because everywhere else is just a beautifully flowing circuit. To be honest, I don't think Turn 5 spoils it at all. It just is the slowest point on the racetrack. It's got to be somewhere. And it's so bumpy through there that it creates the sort of problems on power and through the middle of the turn like we've just, already seen here tonight.
Yeah, very, very tough right there. Of course, it's critical, the timing of putting the hammer down right there. You've got to put it down as early as possible. And, that is second gear in these cars. It's a high-strung 425 horsepower, 4-cylinder turbo. The boost comes on, right, as you're trying to roll on the power out of Moss Corner. And even some of these expert drivers have a hard time staying hooked up as Dunkovich gets a little wiggle, and that's Gullickson is off. That corner has finally bitten Gullickson for the second time, and that is really going to cost him as he drops out of the top 10.
Yep, and that is a costly error. He's in a bit of a bad run of form at the moment, Hubert Gullickson. We'll get back to that because it's 3 wide for second. Round the outside from Jake Williams. He's made contact there with Peter Evany. He's straight off into the wall. Evany joins him. They both lost their rear wings here. Junkovic is the only one to survive. He's on the inside and so was able to avoid the contact. Even he's got rear end damage, not only the rear wing off, but rear suspension damage as well. So he's not getting out from there. And neither is Jake Williams, who was looking for his first top 10 in the second half of this season. It's been a month and a half since he's had one on a Friday night, and that wait is going to go longer because he's off into the wall half through turn 8. A huge crash at the highest speed point on this circuit for Jake Williams and Peter Evany.
Yeah, tickling 200 there. These cars are probably eclipsing 180 miles an hour coming off that Andretti straightaway, and the kind of, Williams leaving his mark on this one for sure. First showing up in the inert livery, which I find a little bit puzzling, and then maybe making a bad decision right there. He's made a few of them off and on during our coverage of the Welshman, and I may need to see that again, and I'm certainly going to be asking around about that inert livery that he's sporting here today.
Yeah, indeed, might have been signed up. Can't imagine he's running it just as imitation, so he must have been, but I hadn't heard anything about it. And a spin up in front here for one of the lap cars. The leader's having to negotiate. Somebody spun off the racetrack there. It looks like Antoine Ledbetter, who's gone off there, and thankfully has not reversed into traffic or anything, so the leaders can continue on. So everybody effectively moves up too. Dunkovic back to second. Barry is now in the top 3. Then Larson, Braun, Kirakopoulos, Cormier, Davies, Gullickson, Plumley rounding out the top 10. It's very hard to know where to apportion blame there, really. I know what you're saying on the outside there by William. To be fair, maybe William could have backed out of it, but they were so close to making that work that they could have made it work, but you can definitely question the sense of going for a move like that in the first half of the race. But it's just such a tiny bit of contact that's taken 2 guys out of the race, which feels harsh, and of course it is for those 2, but they were 3 wide, I'd say, at the highest speed point on this circuit.
Yeah, that is a tough one, and arguably Williams there entitled to the space. He had position around the outside, and even he may be washed out just a little bit, but you can be right and in the medical tent, and it doesn't really make it hurt any less.
Oh, indeed. See whether they indeed come out again. Actually, Williams is already gone from the server, so that is that for him. So it's given us some new battles in the top 10 here, some new names in the top 10 as well. White Cormier in 7th. Oh no, and outside the top 10, CW Pear gets spun around by Tobias Matheson, and a good recovery from Pear, but that definitely is a clumsy bit of contact out of the final corner. That was definitely avoidable by those two.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks. Everybody here has a pretty high I rating, to be sure, being the top split and the biggest points haul of the week here on our covered broadcast. And here's another look at it, doink, and they're just going to fight for position down the straightaway. And Pear might have owed a little space to the left there to allow that other car back on. But Motorsport is one of those tracks that can attract drivers that are very good at the track but don't have a lot of seat time in the radical, and sometimes that doesn't work out very well.
Oh, big off in the turn 8 again for Dennis Kyrgiopoulos. He was battling hard in that group, headed by Heinz Braun at the moment for 5th, and he's gone hard right into the fence. And Kyrgiopoulos toes back to pit lane. My goodness me, we have seen some drama tonight. It's not, I've got to say, but if you're maybe picking this up for the first time on a Friday night, it's not normally quite as contact filled as this. I must say, there's a lot of the cars in the field tonight. You wonder whether that is affecting the racing that we're seeing, which is, as I say, involving a lot more contact than normal.
Yeah, a lot more contact, some unfamiliar names out here. And here's another look at Kyrgiopoulos. He's going to get some help. Looks like he might have drifted a little bit left there, probably a racing incident, but yeah, very rough and tumble. And maybe I'll ask our producer to show on our timing tower the movement in positions. It is painted green from all the upward movement, something we normally don't see. Look at that, holy cow, +5 for Berry, +6 for Heinz Braun. Goes all the way down to Stringer, up 8 to break into the top 10, and maybe one of his best finishes of all time.
Yeah, we'll have a look into that in a moment. Oh, side by side between Davies and Cormier here. Max Davies able to get that position, and Gullickson just hanging back. Oh, he misjudges it though. He hits the back of White Cormier. He was trying to tuck straight underneath out the front straight, and he backs out of it to let him go again. He realises that he was the one in the wrong there over Gullickson, and decides to back out of this. But yeah, there's plenty of drivers here who are on course for potential top 10 finishes that they've not managed it before, either ever or indeed in this season of racing as well. So I'll look into a few drivers who are on the verge of that at the moment, but especially guys like White Cormier in 7th place, Robert Plumley in the top 10, Ryan Stringer also in the top 10 again here today as well. Hasn't managed one yet this season. I'm pretty sure he's been here pretty much every week. Meantime, Tunkovic was on course for a great result there before he went on through turn 5. Barry goes through, and so does Kjetil Larsen here into 2nd and 3rd.
Oh my gosh, that Moss corner, just the bane of these radicals, super bumpy as you pointed out. Got to be so hard on the brakes, roast the tires, and put the power down smoothly onto that back straight. It is challenging in any car, but even more so in these little monsters. And this one has just been wild, Ewan. We've had a couple that have been fairly tame, track days, but not today, as folks have shown up, elbows out, ready to scrap, and this course is giving them all that they can handle right now.
This is always an exciting round when you come to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, but we are being delivered in spades here today. Action all over the place, and we're only halfway through here. Jarek Tunkovic down to 4th, the most recent development here inside the top positions. Barry and Larsen both moving on up, but they're fighting also amongst themselves. Gives Tunkovic a moment to regather himself here. So they're going towards turn 5. The double apex, a little bit wide from Tunkovic, doesn't quite get the run that he needed there to get it close to Larsen. And Barry up in front. They weave around just a little bit in front. Barry really weaving from left to right here. Here comes Kjetil Larsen. We go for it at turn 8 this time. Barry certainly fears that he will. Outside for Larsen. He is going to brake early, but hold it there. Can he stay there for turn 9? Not quite. Barry able to close him out and hold on to second, but this has got the early signs of a group that could go on for some time in this race.
Yeah, great camera work there showing that battle for P2. It's Barry from Larson, from Dunkovich, and fans of Brandon Hawken, apologies, I guess he is out there still with about a 6.5 second gap, but nothing is going on anywhere near him except him going fast as normal. Here is the action right here, this pack led by Barry.
Yeah, he's at the head of a 3-driver train for now, but how much is this going to grow by in the next couple of moments? Is Heinz Braun going to get in here? Looks like it. Max Davies, Hover Gullickson as well. Quite possibly be a 6-driver group before the conclusion of this race. So come out of turn 5 now and onto the back straight. He's really weaving here, is James Barry. Almost to point of it being a little bit egregious here, the amount that he is swerving from left to right. Doing it again slightly towards the end of the straight, but stops just before the turn itself to get back on the racing line. And Larson, as a result, not able to get close. But I wonder if he'll be saying anything or thinking anything at the moment, Larson, about the weaving that Barry is doing, because it's definitely more than 1 or 2 moves down the back straight. It's 3 or 4 or 5 before he gets to turn 8.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and light our YouTube chat on fire right now by reminding you that that is blocking under the iRacing sporting code, because it's reacting to movements of the car behind. So you're really not supposed to weave. They let it go here among the radicals. But I'll tell you what, one thing that weaving down the back straight is doing, it's definitely letting Braun and Davies back in here. Dunkovich is not going to be happy about having his mirrors full of Heinz, because Heinz sees a sliver of light. He's stuffing that radical in there, and that is the last thing that Dunkovich wants to deal with right now. Oh, here it comes.
Very wide. Dear, oh dear. That was really wide from Dunkovich there. And Heinz Braun is going to come straight through here, surely. Unless he wants to help Dunkovich and help stitch this group together. He's on the grass here. Oh, my goodness. Dunkovich there was squeezing him. I suppose expecting him to go to the outside there, Heinz Braun. But he didn't. He went to the grass on the right-hand side to try and come through. On the inside of turn 8, he's going to have this. Dunkovich not quite willing to let him through that easily. But Braun gives him no choice. And Heinz Braun's up to 4th place. Just one error there, costing Dunkovich a position straight away. But Braun managing to get through in the slightly unorthodox way towards turn 8 that time.
Yeah, as I said, Heinz not shy. And speak of the Heinz appears, and there it was. His next target ahead now, Kettle Larson, 0.6 ahead to Larson. And with the huge draft on that back straight, definitely doable for Braun. So Braun now thinking about a podium as he sits up 7. He qualified in P11 and has been picking them off one at a time since.
Remarkable as the run through from Heinz Braun. He has been getting into the habit of doing this recently. As Heinz Braun, and moving up 7 places, though it's not the only one. T.R. Azevedo down there has moved up 8 so far in this race from outside the top 20. Barry's up back to weaving again down the back straight here in front of Larson, and it's successful in keeping his rival at bay towards turn 8. That's a good dive from Dunkovich as well. Wants to respond and wants to get straight back through again on Heinz Braun in towards turn 8, and does. And Braun, instead of fighting it like Dunkovich did, Braun just lets him go and realises that this could be a tit-for-tat battle that he's got to play his part in here.
Yeah, interesting stuff, and we could potentially see a little bit of bump drafting on that back straight as well if these two want to get a little closer to Larson and Barry. But man, the slipstream effect on these cars cannot be overstated, and that's why you're seeing these cars train up. We got Barry from Barry, Larson, Dunkovich, Braun, Davies, and now Gullickson sniffing around back there trying to make up some of his lost time. And so that is now up to 6-7 cars in a row with more drift behind. So these tracks, we really see these cars stick together. Whoa!
Goodness me. Through turn 5, Gullickson's going to get the run and get ahead of Max Davies here. 4th, 6th position, although they're absolutely locked level now coming down the straight. He is just about going to get himself ahead. It's taken a while. There we go. He is now through on the inside. A little bit wide through the middle of the turn here. Davies tries to just tuck in behind him and take the slipstream. Again, they're going to have to close a bit of time here. There's just over a second up to the other four now, and Robert Gullickson is going to have to do that work to get involved, because there's not many laps remaining for them to get involved and get a better result in the remainder of this race.
Yeah, and good chance that Gullickson's tires are not happy. We've seen a couple of lazy slides and an almost spin out of Gullickson. That means those rears have about had enough of him and had about enough of those 425 horsepower. So that's going to be another obstacle. And look at Gullickson pulling away now from Davies behind, as Davies does a four-wheel trip into that Moss corner. Oh man, this is great stuff. So tough to be smooth in these cars right there.
This is going to be an easy pass, unless Max Davies wants to do the pushing instead, and he does want to try and push to get closer to those four up ahead. And this is going to help Larson to the outside of Barry, which gives him the inside for turn 9. He's not quite far enough alongside, but it shows that these guys want to fight. And there goes Dunkovic, steaming into the final turn, trying to get into third position. And it justifies what the two behind have been doing here, trying to work together to try and catch up to these four. Dunkovic round the inside, Larson on the outside. Nice Braun in the background correcting a slide, trying to pick up on whoever is going to lose out in this fight. Dunkovic in the end is pushed behind Larson again, who only just hangs on. Dunkovic goes again though, into turn 3, just about avoids contact. Braun not close enough to capitalise. They stay all where they are at the beginning of this lap.
What a move by Dunkovic, lunging there into the last corner, catching Larson unaware. An unusual place to make a move, but you just have to release a little brake pressure, get your nose in there, and you can get side by side. And so close. Jared wanted that position, couldn't quite get it done, but not over yet. There's a lot of laps in this race and plenty remaining.
Side by side just in front of Heinz Braun here, and he's the type of driver to get involved 3 wide. He's not going to again here though. Dunkovic has already got experience with that, of course. It saw Evany and Williams both out of this race. Dunkovic goes through this time though, and a 2 wide moment in towards turn 8. So he is through. Gullickson and Davies are now definitely here as well. Although James Barry has gotten clear, he looks like he's going to finish second here tonight behind Brandon Hawkin, who is dominating this race again. Who is going to finish third though? It's going to be quite a fight for this final podium position.
Yeah, Barry can finally take a little bit of a breather here. He's loving what he is seeing in his rearview mirror, this fighting going on behind, and yeah, doing a great job managing that gap. It's over 1 second now, 1.1. Barry's kind of on an island right now, and if these guys want to catch him, maybe we might see a little bit more bumping and pushing between Larson and Dunkovic down the back straight. Let's see what they decide to do. Barry would like him to keep right on scrapping, but still plenty of time left to get up and apply pressure to P2. See what happens here.
A little bit bigger of a gap this time for Dunkovic, but does that mean he's in the clear or not? He's weaving, feels that he's under pressure here. Braun is probably closer to Larson actually in terms of making a move, and he does. So Larson goes on the defensive, half attacking Dunkovic. They stay as they are. 3 laps to go as Hawkin crosses the line here. These guys will as well. It's 3 laps remaining in this race, and Dunkovic holds this third place for now. Say Barry is clear, but who's going to finish in third? Larson is looking close through here. Look at the dirty air as well there for Robert Gullickson. When you're 4th in the queue, there's a lot of this dirty air as you go through these higher speed corners.
Yeah, and I'll have to look back at my notes. This may be Dunkovic's best finish if he can hang on for a podium. I'm not sure if he's pulled a podium in these broadcast races, and I believe we're going to be seeing him back out here on Sunday, so he may be getting some valuable seat time for the Radical Americas Championship show that we'll have coming at you a little later this weekend.
Yeah, indeed. Also a Radicals European race this weekend. It's a double header. Radicals Racing, if you're interested in seeing more racing a bit like this, then you can do on Sunday night. In towards the final few turns. It's 3 wide, nearly 4 coming into turn 8. Steaming down the inside, Robert Gullickson trying to take 3 positions in one. In the end, he can't quite take all 3, but Djokovic is in danger of losing 3 here. Into the final turn, he's timing to win one of those back again. Heinz Braun pushed out wide, and he flashes the lights in anger. He's not pleased about being pushed wide there, but Djokovic gets that place back again, and Davies looks to retake the position as well here. Heinz Braun will be very upset if that happens as well. He already is, as it looks like. Into turn 2, he holds on to 6, but there's a bit of needle between them now, which will be interesting to see down the back straight next time by.
And the teammates, IGL Coatings teammates Larson and Gullikson, are probably laughing in disbelief about what just happened. And so much happened there. I might need to see it again. More side-by-side action in another unusual place by Heinz Braun. Has had enough of Djokovic. Is going to show him a thing or two about aggression right here. Woo! With Max Davies sniffing around behind as well. And it is still going you and non-stop.
Yeah, look at this. Very, very close between these guys. Heinz Braun straight. Oh, and what's going on here? A 3-driver bump draft on the way towards turn 8. They all want to be in the position they already are in, heading into the final lap by the looks of it. And Djokovic gets to keep his 5th, Braun his 6th, and Davies his 7th place going on to the last lap. It doesn't look like any of the 4 positions up ahead are going to change now. The field's spread out because of the fights, but you don't see that very often. A 3-driver bump draft coming towards turn 8, setting up the finale on the last lap of this race.
That's 1,200 turbocharged horsepower linked together, blasting down that Andretti straight. Takes you back to the old K&M days, I guess. But here we go. It is crunch time now. Can Djokovic hang on? That P3 has slipped away, but I'm sure he would like to hang in the top 5. Is Heinz Braun going to let him get away with it?
Down the hill towards turn 5. Heinz Braun is setting his line up, and Djokovic there went wide. That surely is the end of 5th place for him here, unless he can do something pretty miraculous. We're going to have to go hit split screen, because Brandon Hawkin is going to come through the final turns now to take race victory number 8 in 11 races this season. A remarkable season for Brandon Hawkin, surely on his way to a championship. He takes the checkered flag first at Motorsports as well. Meantime behind, Djokovic tries to hold back Heinz Braun, and given his exit, I thought he had no chance. Now he's been hit though by Heinz Braun. It ends in a crash. Heinz Braun is going to get 5th in the end in front of Max Davies. How quickly is Djokovic going to recover? He's still 7th for the moment. He's actually gone through the pit entry line there. Here comes White Cormier. He's going to take 7th in the very end there. Djokovic ends up with 8th, and he ends up with a penalty very late on, I think for an unsafe entry, or unsafe, whatever you call that. Unsafe not going in the pit lane. He's going to finish 8th, but with a penalty. A sad way to end a great fight in that race.
Yeah, we'll just call that a pit lane violation there. But you could sense Braun getting more and more bent out of shape those last couple laps, and I can't say I'm surprised that it came to blows there at the end. But Djokovic definitely gained there, but kind of ran out of tire, I think, the last lap or 2. Yeah,
absolutely. It was a remarkable fight, and a shame that the race ended in that way for them. But it was getting aggressive there towards the end. Certainly, there is the contact again. Heinz Braun into Djokovic, who spins off into the wall, and will not be getting a top 10 in the end anyway. Brandon Hawkin takes the victory, nearly 10 seconds in front of James Barry, with Kjetil Larsen in 3rd place. He finishes only just in front of Robert Gullikson, his teammate, in the end there. Heinz Braun and Max Davies do get 5th and 6th in the end, and White Cormier up to 7th. That is his first top 10, by the way, in a broadcasted race in the last year. Since we have records for the last year, he's not managed them in a year. Neither has Robert Plumley, who's in 8th place here tonight. Ole Henrik Gullikson is in 9th place in front of Tobias Matheson, who rounds out the top 10. Ryan Stringer finishes 11th in the end, of David Walters, with Mauricio Azevedo and CW Pair, and Jarek Dungovic there finally finding him in 15th position with that penalty. Rudolf Nagel had a drive-through initially in this race for a jump start, finishes 16th. Taylor Clark and Andreas Enope were 1 lap down each. And then the 5 retirements, Dennis Kirkopoulos, Antoine JC Ledbetter running up the top 20. And at the back, Peter Evening, Jake Williams involved in the same crash. And Javier Zapata, after only 3 laps of that race, unfortunately retires. A dramatic race, there's no doubt about that. Let's say 2 top 10s that we haven't had in the last year of competition on Friday nights in the Radical Esports Cup. which is absolutely fantastic to see for the likes of White Cormier and Ron Plumley. I haven't checked Tobias Matheson yet, but I suspect it might be the same for him as well. I'll find out. James Barry, though, is waiting for us in the interview waiting room at the moment, and we'll bring him in for a chat. James, welcome in. Congratulations on second in the race tonight. The battle was all for second, really, in the race. Brandon Hawkin was out front from very, very early. Talk us through your perspective on that second place battle, how you managed to get into there and stay there for the end of the race there.
Yeah, obviously a fun race from my perspective. Just terrible qualifying, but I'm a bit of fortune. I mean, I think I only made one actual overtake. I think I had a pass at the start, then I made a nice move on Max, and then it was Jake and Peter who came together. I was just checking out the replay. Very, very difficult situation when they're going 3 wide into there. And then Horvath spun, Jarrett spun in front of me in the tricky corner on this track. I don't remember the name of it. So yeah, and then it was just trying to break the toe to Shettil, stop him from being able to attack me. And in the end, yeah, managed to get that gap. So yeah, good day at the office.
Speaking of breaking the toe, you were weaving rather aggressively, I thought, down the back straight, weaving quite a lot. Talk us through the amount that it must feel like you're under a lot of pressure in that scenario, and there's a big queue behind you at that stage. Talk us through how difficult it is to break the draft around here and the extents. I guess we saw some of the extents you have to go to, but talk us through how difficult that really is for a driver.
Yeah, it is, because it's pretty intense when you've got not only one guy behind you, but the thing is, if you get a bad run somewhere, you might have 2 people attacking you, and you might have a situation that led to that incident that I mentioned, or even if one guy overtakes you, then the next guy behind you might take the chance to kind of follow him through. So yeah, the weaving, I know it's not really a good look, but it's something that over the years that I've been here, I've just seen for myself how strong it is when people in front of me do it. So I've decided that I mean, I don't know what the official rules are. Maybe I should in iRacing, but for me, it's kind of, you just got to do what you got to do. And yeah, I mean, it works clearly, because I managed to keep Shettil from really having a good go at me there, and managed to get a good result as a result.
Yeah, indeed. Congratulations on second, James, again, and thanks for chatting to us at the end as well.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
Thanks so much. That's James Barry, second place here tonight. And while we've been chatting to him, the other podium drivers have got in there waiting for us, including the race winner, Brandon Hawkin, who we can chat to now as well. Brandon, welcome in, and congratulations again on the race victory. Number 8 of 11 races this season in broadcasted races that we've seen. And you got away very, very early on, so didn't really experience some of the great fighting we saw behind. Were you a little bit disappointed, envious, looking in your mirrors there at the fighting that was going on, or just pleased to be on your own in the lead there?
Yeah, it was kind of like Willow Springs there. Yeah, a bit mixed emotions there. I like, of course, if you like you see a gap forming there, and you're like, yes, yeah, I'm getting out of the draft here. But yeah, would have loved to like a back and forth battle there towards the end. But no, I'll take it. It's they're hard to come by when you can get a bit of a gap, and it was so I'll take it for sure. It was on the lap 1 there, I think I got a good start there, and then they started battling a little bit, and it was just enough to let me break away from the draft, and then I saw the relative going crazy, so I wasn't sure what was happening there, but man, it looked exciting, and so I was able to just kind of drive it home there. It's not usual you get to do that here at Motorsports, but I got pretty lucky there at the start of the race, so I'll take it, man. That was it was a lot of fun just driving this track. It's my home track. Live about 30 minutes away, and so I've probably put more laps here than I have like everywhere else combined for the most part, and really happy to get a win here at my home track.
Yeah, even better on home turf. I want to talk about the iRacing officials standings here, because going into this week you were 400 points ahead of the nearest challenger, but it's always slightly different or weird until the final round of the championship, when you really have an idea, and maybe at the end of this week everyone will have a better idea. But anyway, with drop weeks being applied and so on, that can all change. Talk us through the sort of work you've been putting in the week, and the races that we haven't seen throughout the weeks here that have given you such a big lead in the iRacing official standings, and clearly given you a great season away from the broadcasted top split on Fridays as well.
Yeah, so I've been putting all my eggs in one basket on Friday at 5, and it's just getting the feel for the car. It's like every track's a lot different with like how the setup works and everything, and so it's just a lot of it's similar but a lot different depending on where we go. And this track it really suits my driving style, and then throughout the season I've just been working on getting full runs pretty consistent, and working the brake a lot. This car requires a lot more brake than a lot of other cars, and that's one of the main things that I learned pretty early on was you use the brake to your advantage. And it's been like a great time trying to pick up this car, and the racing all season's been absolutely fantastic. Of course, we got the regulars, we got new people dropping in, and just everybody's been a joy to race with. So it's been really great, and hopefully next week hopefully we can cap it out with another win. But we'll see. It's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah, we will. We'll see you next week, Brandon, for that final race of the season at Interlagos, and congratulations again on the win tonight.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Thanks so much, Brandon Hawkin, the winner this week from Motorsport. And nice to win on home soil for him, I'm sure. Kjetil Larsen finishes in third place tonight and joins us now as well. Kjetil, welcome in. Congratulations. Quite a battle that you had to fight through there to finish in third place. Just talk us through how sort of enjoyable it is really as a driver to fight through, and how difficult it is to be involved in these battles at this circuit.
It was really good fun, but it's really hard. You have to be focused all the time. And I was chasing Barry. I had a good pace and stayed with him. And then Jared came past me, and I lost a little bit to Barry. And on the next lap, I think we were almost 4 wide into the last SS. And Håvard came to my rescue, if I can say it like that. So he passed Brown and Jarrett. And he braked a little bit too late, so he gave me a gap. But then it was not enough to catch Barry again.
In terms of your Friday nights, it's your first podium of the season, although you've had 5 top 5s on Friday nights since this season started nearly 3 months ago. Just how have you found this iRacing season 3 of 2026?
I think it's been a good season. I've been a little bit unlucky in some races, been involved some accidents, so I have to start almost on scratch again. So now I found some pace, and I hope to make it to the podium some more times.
Yeah, well, I hope to see you there next week for the final round, of course. Congratulations on third place tonight, and we'll see you again next week for the final race.
Oh, of course.
Thanks so much, Kjetil Larsen.
Thank you.
Third place here tonight from Motorsport in the penultimate round of our championship. JR, I've got to say, one of the most enjoyable rounds I've felt this season from Motorsport tonight. And Interlagos is always a good time as well. The place where all good championship finales happen is where we'll be for our last round next week as well.
Yeah, another Formula One track. These cars perform very, very well out there. And, you never know. Interlagos can be very hot, can be very, very hard on tires. So not a gimme at all. A very, very difficult course that can lead to some controversy, as you pointed out. So looking forward to next Friday.
Yep, absolutely. Looking forward to Sunday as well. A double header of Motorsport races in the Radical Sim Racing European Championship at 8 o'clock UK time, 9 o'clock Central European time. And then the Americas Championship coming up at 8:30 Eastern time over in America. 2 races on Sunday night for you around Motorsport. And if tonight's racing is anything to go by, it will be very, very fun indeed. So make sure you join us again on Racepot TV for that one. For now, that's it on the Racepot TV and iRacing YouTube channels here for the penultimate round of the Radical Esports Cup on a Friday night. Join us next week for the finale at Interlagos. I've been Ian O'Leary alongside Shell Gregory here tonight with Hugo Lewis behind the cameras of this broadcast. Until we see you at Interlagos for the finale, it's goodbye for now.